Just on that. Buenas and Hafa and welcome to the Guam Congress Building for this month's flag-raising ceremonies where we honor the veterans of the Military Order of the Purple Heart. Kindly stand for the posting of colors. Together, let us thank the members of the Guam Territorial Band for joining us this morning and for gracing us with the rendition of the national anthem and the Guam hymn. Sijusmasi. Please remain standing as we continue with the Inifresi led by our Legislative Secretary, Senator Regine Bisco-Lee.
Inifresi, gininimas chakulu ginasoku, imas chakulum gi kurasonhu, zanimas figu nani nasinyahu, hu ufresen maisadzu, parabai protehi, zani defendi, ihinengi, ikutura, ilingwahi, I airi, I hanum zanitano tamoru. Niren shaku diretu ginenas duos tata, esti hua fitma gihilu I Biblia, zani benderahu I benderan guahan.
Sijus Masi, Senator. At this time, you may be seated. Please join me in welcoming to offer the welcome remarks for this morning's ceremony, the Honorable Speaker of the 34th Guam Legislature, the Honorable Benjamin J.F. Cruz.
Good morning. And on behalf of the Vice Speaker, Senator Lee, Senator Uggan, Senator Snogestein, Senator Torres, we welcome you to the Guam Legislature. I actually am surprised that this is the first time that we've recognized the veterans of the Order of Purple Heart. We've done this for so many months. I thought for sure you guys would have been the first ones that we would have recognized. Because every time I come into work, I pass by that beautiful memorial that you all erected out there on the corner of the plaza. And so I welcome you to the legislature. I hope that before you all leave today that you have a chance to walk through the building and see how we've renovated this building. The work was absolutely beautiful, all the work that was done to renovate this building. So I hope that you'll take the time to, in a few minutes, to please walk around the building and enjoy the building. Though I never served, I want to thank all of you for your service, and especially those of you that received the Purple Heart for the injuries that you endured during your service to the military. I have a special place in my heart for the Purple Heart group because, was it 13 years ago that we all went to Vietnam together, and that was quite a trip, and it was quite emotional being with all of you going back to Vietnam for the first time. Though I never served, I was really honored that you invited me to come with you and experience that visit. I again want to thank you all for your service and know that the legislature is here to assist you. We've had through either Senator Uggan, Senator Tom Atta, or Senator Rodriguez, introduce a considerable number of pieces of legislation in recognition of all of your service. The license plates, I hope all of you got your new ones with the designations on it. I was going to go walk around the parking lot and see how many of your medals are up there. And so I want to know that the legislature is always here to try to assist you in whatever way that we can, because we as a community, we as a legislature, owe a great debt of gratitude to all of you for all the service that you've rendered and sacrificed on behalf of our freedoms. And so, again, thank you for coming and allowing us to recognize and honor you this morning. And again, thank you for your service.
Sijus Masi, Speaker. At this time, we'd like to welcome and recognize the gentleman who will be sharing a few words with all of us this morning. He enlisted in the United States Marine Corps in April 1966 and rose to the rank of Master Gunnery Sergeant and retired in December 1990 after 24 years of service. Serving in the Vietnam War from 67 to 68, he was awarded the Purple Heart Medal for injuries incurred in the DMZ area in Vietnam. He joined the military order, the Purple Heart, in November of 2003. He's helped establish on Charter Chapter 1315 with the late Commander Jack Shimizu and assisted in adopting Route 8 as Purple Heart Highway. He has been involved in many different organizations, nonprofits that help and contribute to the community and the life of the community. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Senior Vice Commander of the Military Order of the Purple Heart and retired Master Gunnery Sergeant of the United States Marine Corps, Mr. Ricardo Perez Cruz.
You'd have to excuse me. I think just looking at the audience, I think that there's just two people maybe that are older than me, but they don't show any sign of age. Mr. Speaker, with respect, sir, and Mr. Frank Lizama are the two gentlemen that I know is older than me, but I have to wear my glasses to read. I am honored, actually, to be up here and given this opportunity to address an audience that are members of the legislature. Honorable Speaker B.J. Cruz, I've known you for years, although I have not visited your office for any personal matters or issues relating to the island. And Mrs. Terlai, Honorable Terlai, I'm happy to recognize you, and Mrs. Lee, Honorable Lee. Her husband is also a recipient of the Purple Heart, although young at age, still energetic and in mind, gung-ho maybe, and doesn't want to be recognized to be in the group as being wounded or some ailment of some sort. And Mrs. Torres, Honorable Mrs. Torres, it's a pleasure meeting you, ma'am. Senator Frank Algood, we've been partners for a long time. And I've seen you growing up because your father and I are business related in the pig industry. And Joe St. Augustine, Senator St. Augustine, before I joined the service, I see him in the village. Of course, the old village, we know everybody in the old village until people just decided to migrate after Typhoon Karen. And there you go with the Kaiser building going up, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and all that. And we have now Dededo is, of course, most populated and the largest village. And Mr. St. Augustine, growing up, sometimes without slippers, running around the village. And I'm here to say, Joe, that I don't think you can recall me ever having tears in my eyes for whatever reason. But I think today you're going to see a humble man. And Honorable Senator Rodriguez, you were campaigning. I recognize you. I gave you a couple of advices, recommendations from a citizen, and how to circulate yourself and and I ask you to meet with the veterans, and of course, with a number of veterans on the island, just that alone can get you in his office. But I think that it's a matter of communicating with them or them, whatever. The choice, your choice of candidates. But I encourage people that I associate with, I come in contact with, to consider the people that are actually concerned with Veterans Affairs. All right, so without further ado, I think, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for being here today on this, for us, a memorable day to be recognized as actually one of the functional and very strong organization on the island, and strongly supporting veterans issues, legislative issues. We present ourselves, we make ourselves present on legislative hearings relevant to Veterans Affairs. So I'll go on and with my little presentation here. I'm going to make it brief, but obviously you're all thinking, yeah, he's got crutches, so he won't be up there too long. And you're right. In addition to that, I don't think any of you guys ever heard of Marine surrendering, but this time I surrender on account of my ailment. Briefly going in with what I have here, we were recognized by the governor and given a resolution August 1st down in the governor's office. Again, with the governor, we've had numbers of resolutions over the years since we established the Purple Heart in 2003. Well, I'm giving the information that I have here, and for the most part, the senators have been provided a history of the existence of the Purple Heart Medal. And what I have here, they have 1 or 2 pages, but I'll briefly just say a couple of paragraphs so that I can get off the floor. Anyway, the Purple Heart is an American decoration, the oldest military decoration in the world in present use, and the first American award made available to the common soldier. It was initially created as the badge of military merit by one of the world's famed and best-loved heroes, General George Washington. It was awarded to members of the armed forces of the United States who are wounded by an instrument of war in the hands of enemy, and posthumously to the next of kin in the name of those who are killed in action or die of wounds received in action. It is specifically a combat decoration. The Military Order of the Purple Heart, Department of Asia Pacific, is composed of 3 chapters, Chapter 1315, Chapter 287, and Chapter 2007. Our members total approximately 135 members recognized and registered. With this, Purple Heart recipients are also given the opportunity to be recognized and have their names in the Purple Heart Hall of Fame in Virginia. So our names here locally are in the Hall of Fames in Virginia, Purple Heart Hall of Fame. The mission of the Purple Heart is to foster an environment of goodwill and camaraderie among combat wounded veterans, promote patriotism, support necessary legislative initiative, and most importantly, provide service to all veterans and their families. With the Department of Asia Pacific is an organization that obviously would not function without this organization, and that would be the formation of the Ladies Auxiliary. And you know, to every man there's a better part of him, and that's having a wife. And that's making sure that we are being supported and all our efforts are being produced or materialized in some way. And further, our mission is to pledge ourselves to sponsor those principles of liberty, justice, the general welfare, and that have made the United States the great nation that it is today. We are further pledged ourselves to assist in the Military Order of the Purple Heart, MOPH, in carrying out its patriotic, fraternal, educational, and historical programs. I would like to plead with the audience and invite your relatives and or sons or daughters, friends, family especially, that have been wounded in action to try to encourage them to visit our organization. And of course, you're all aware, everybody's aware of the veterans clinic that we have up in Agana Heights, although I believe I heard that it's getting better in some way. But we're eventually getting to be seen up in there, maybe not as frequent as we expected or we want. But and the reason why I'm inviting and you folks to persuade family members and friends to join the organization is because you can see, I mentioned it's 135 membership on the roster. And we have a handful here today. And a lot of contributing factors to the presence or the number of presidents that we have here. Ailment, of course, age, not able to maneuver as we were back in them young days. So please have them join the organization. My next issue or presentation would be a member in the group that is wounded in action. And while he's speaking, I'm going to pass around the actual Purple Heart Medal that has been awarded individually to recipients whom are wounded or dead or deceased in combat. And you would actually feel and personally see the contrast that's in the medal and how it's made and how it's being delivered to the veterans. That person would be Mr. John Kirichai, and he would be the next speaker. Please, let's give him a hand.
So you want action, right? Okay. You want to see the action. First, let me introduce you this. This is America, the 23rd Infantry Division. This is the one. This is the 23rd Infantry Division. This is the unit I was gunshot wound, sniper in my head. This together with the 196, but there's something wrong on this American Delta. It's a real, it's a massacre. So they took these parts and moved it away and put that the 196 infantry to make a war patch. So then after that they stand down. I went to 101st 1 year, and then went to first CAF for 1 year. I stayed about 3 years. 3 years. Anyway, when you see the Purple Hearts going around, that's my award. I got wounded on October 8, 1969. Actually, when I was wounded, I was working pointman. My job is pointman on tunnel rack. I'm from Guam. A little bit short, then skinny at that time. Young, 17 or so, almost 18. So I was walking pointman, and I was out and I could hear some movement around. And I got someone, my squad, our platoon, they all depend on me, the platoon. So, about 10 meters away from me. So I got sniped. I got shot in the head. So when I got shot in the head, my stupor went off. Flew out. So I got all blood all over my face. So I was screaming, said, "It's up there! It's up there! Gagigulo!" I was even speaking Chamorro that time. Gagigulo, Gagigchonko! And what's happening? I pass out. Also, I ended on the 95th hospital, and I believe I need to end in the Watery Hospital in D.C. or Maryland, back and forth, because I have a plate in my head. Plate. So actually, they give me about 30 days for medical leave. So I went to Naval Hospital, the old Naval Hospital. I stayed for 30 days, back and forth to my house. Actually, when the Persian Gulf happened, I was jealous. I was never welcome. All the media coverage and all that stuff, nothing. I was really angry at what I did. I was a young guy there. I was not drafted. I escaped the draft. I volunteered. So that's the accident where I got shot. Actually, on the other wounded I got, in the first calf, I got shot. I got shot on my leg, but I was not treated in the hospital. I was treated in the field. I was treated in the hospital. I mean, in the field. The medic keep on checking my leg, and supposed to have two Purple Heart, but actually, I was a young guy there. So that's the end of my story about the Purple Heart. But the main thing I got is now never mind about the Brown Star and the Silver Star. So just ask if you allowed me to go ahead and say it. Okay, I know it's Purple Heart Day, but what happened? I got all write-up orders about the Silver Star. But when I'm the only Chamorro on the unit, he even called me Gook, Ding, Scout. He thought I was with them. I thought I was with the American soldiers. Said that I'm one of the QC or whatever, trumpeter. But actually, no, I'm from Guam. I'm an American soldier. So when I did this, when I did that award, I captured a lot of, it said in my orders, I captured a lot of enemies. I killed a lot of enemies too. I'm not lying to you. I'll be honest to you. That's my job. My job is to kill. I was trained for that. So when I got up in the tunnel, I come out there, I captured about 6. I have them surrender 3 of them. They all come out, altogether 9. So, my platoon sergeant, platoon leader said that, "Congratulations, you just make Silver Star." They say, first thing in the morning, you go back in, and you're receiving a award. And they gave me the Brown Star with device for heroism. This is the award that I had. I know it's beautiful, it's for heroism. But actually, it's the wrong medal they gave me. But you know why? Because my skin. I'm from Guam. I'm the only Chamorro there. I'm a gongo. I'm a hardcore. I volunteer. That's what happened to me. So that's the whole thing. They're on Washington for investigation or process or whatever. So maybe I could get it. I don't know. But I'm 68 years old. I'm an old man now. So this is all the story that I can give you guys. Thank you, Sister Marcy.
Another hand for these gentlemen, Mr. Cruz and Mr. Kiditsai, for sharing their stories with us this morning. At this time, we'd like to ask everyone to kindly rise for a moment of silence for those from the military or the Order of Purple Heart who have gone before us. and are not with us today. Thank you very much. You may be seated. At this time, to close up our short yet meaningful ceremony this morning, please help me welcome the Chairman of the Committee on Legislative Operations, Health, Tourism, Military Affairs, and Senior Citizens, the Honorable Senator Dennis G. Rodriguez, Jr.
Hafa and good morning. To my colleagues, good morning. On behalf of Speaker Cruz, I want to again thank you all for being here. When we started this monthly flag-raising ceremony, it was all in our effort to honor our veterans, to honor you for the work that you have done, for the sacrifices. Today, Mr. Kitachai, the story that you shared with us, that's very impactful. And that's what we want to be able to do with these flag-raising ceremonies, is that, at least, at the very least, once a month, we have our veterans here, we honor them, and that we get to speak to you and get educated even more. Every day, we learn about the sacrifices that you have all done for us, for our country, for our island. And we're really very appreciative of that. Over the years, we've worked very closely with the military Order of the Purple Heart. I know that Uncle Nick is not here with us this morning, but it's because of him, because of Mr. Cruz. A lot of you here who speak to us and work with us and let us know what the issues are. I'm very happy that this term we worked with Senator San Augustine and all of my colleagues in the legislature to finally get the license plates done. So I know that it's here. It was one of the first plates that were issued. And so we're very happy. We're very happy for that. But really, today is a day that we want to celebrate you, celebrate the Military Order of the Purple Heart. I think you're one of the most active veteran service organizations on Guam. And so we want to thank you because of the work you do, especially young people like me, our younger kids. We get to understand what your organization is about, but we get to understand really and appreciate the work that you have done and the sacrifices that you all have done for us. So again, from the bottom of my heart and from all the senators, Undunklu, Nasizus Masi, God bless you and thank you very much again. And happy Veterans Day. Every day is Veterans Day. Thank you.
So that concludes our ceremony this morning. Again, on behalf of the members of the legislature, we thank you for joining us, and God bless you all. Have a great day. Yes. Check. At this time, we'd like to ask the members of the order to please join us here for an official photo.